All right, everyone, welcome back. A lot to talk about on this video. I am going to give you some of the latest updates that Nichols shared. I watched the video of his Twitch recording, went through pretty much most of it, and then wrote down the most important and interesting things that you need to know about when it comes to new Dogecoin updates. I'm also going to share with you some video clips of the president of El Salvador and why his country is now accepting cryptocurrency as legal tender. Then I'm going to share with you some of the rumors that are going around on what to expect in prices for cryptocurrency this weekend and next week and July. Then after that, we'll take a look at the chart. But first, let's go ahead and talk about the upgrades that are coming to Dogecoin. The Dogecoin developers and the lead developer, Nichols, are actively working on upgrades to Dogecoin. There are multiple teams working in tandem with each other, communicating with each other and upgrading Dogecoin on hundreds of different points. So Nichols had a Twitch that he did, and he has the recording out there. I'll leave the link in the description below if you want to watch it. Most of it is him just coding. So if you want to be soothed by his coding of Dogecoin, you can watch that. But here was some of the information that he shared. Number one, he was demonstrating the reduction of transaction fees for Dogecoin. So right now, the transaction fee for Dogecoin is 1 Doge. So if you do a transaction, the fee is 1 Doge. They, of course, want to lower that. And so he was demonstrating how they are, in fact, encoding a lower transaction fee. Right now, they're going to start it off with 10 cents. And he proved that it did work, and they're going to throw that into the coding. And then once the miners of Dogecoin accept that, and they should accept it because it will be a good thing for Dogecoin, it will be 10 cents per transaction. And then they will likely upgrade that again, and they're looking to make it less than 1 cent. So I think they want 1/10 of 1 cent. So almost transaction free is what they're going towards, but they're going to start off with the 10-cent transaction. He then went on to talk about how the team is building a bridge to Ethereum. He said that they are building a decentralized bridge to Ethereum to create a Dogecoin equivalent token on Ethereum's blockchain, and then you can use whatever smart contract you want. So they're going to connect the two together. And then somebody asked him a question on the Twitch. They said, Doge token on Ethereum, is this for real? And he said, yes. He said he's been in communication with a developer who is on the lead of that project, and that developer will be on Twitch in the future to explain what's going on. So it basically looks like there is going to be a bridge between Dogecoin and Ethereum in which you can utilize an equivalent Dogecoin on the Ethereum blockchain, which is a really good thing because Ethereum is definitely a legitimate crypto asset out there, and to have any connection with Ethereum would be awesome. He was then asked, when will the new lower fee take effect? And so basically what he said is, first, there's a proposal being made, and they're developing that proposal now by developing the code. Once they propose that, there's a review process that's going to take place with any feedback. Then once that's done, it's adopted by the miners of Dogecoin, and it will be implemented. You need it to be accepted by the nodes of so the nodes is the computers that communicate with each other on the blockchain. So when any transaction takes place, there's always communication between different computers on the blockchain for security reasons. You need the nodes to adopt the code, and you need the miners to adopt the code in order for that to take place, or it won't work. That should happen. So they're completing that portion right now. Once they get through the review process, the proposal, the review process, and the adoption, the lower transaction fees will take place. That's going to skyrocket Dogecoin's price because people are going to see it as a much more usable crypto asset for daily trades. A couple of last things that came up is, when is everything going to be completed? When is this new upgrade going to happen? And then he showed his list, his master list that he was going through. There was 150 or so things. I'll put the last part of the list here on the screen for you, wherever it is. And he said, once we get through all this, then the upgrade will go through. And then he was asked, how often do you work on this? He actually showed his like monthly login chart. He's working on this thing most days, and he's not the only one. There's other developers that are jumping in, and there's multiple teams that are jumping in. And in the last month, the Dogecoin developers have been keeping pace with Bitcoin developers. That is huge because Bitcoin is a monster, and the developers of Bitcoin are monster developers. but there's so many now that are involved in the Dogecoin development team. They've been keeping pace, which is excellent. So all of this stuff looked really cool. If you want to watch the Twitch video, you can. I'll leave the description below, but most of it's coding, and I pretty much gave you the interesting facts from it. Right now, I want to switch to showing you a couple of clips of the president of El Salvador and why his country is now accepting legally by law Bitcoin as legal tender.
Not becoming independent, because we're not, but at least becoming a little less dependent on the output of new dollars and the new inflation that's coming with those dollars, those new dollars. We don't perceive any of that. Because when a country prints more money, there's a good side and a downside. The good side or the upside is that the government has more money to spend. The downside is the inflation, because you're just pouring in more money with no basis. But the problem with using an international currency that is not yours to print is that you're only absorbing the cost. I mean, now your dollars are worth less, but you're not getting any of the new printed money because they didn't print it for you.
This is 100% true. And although the United States currency has proven itself to be very stable, and why many countries adopt it, even though they don't receive the benefits of printing it off, the benefits of having a stable currency is far much more worth it. But with the greater and greater risks of inflation and the lower the stability of the US dollar, what these countries are realizing is the answer is not necessarily their own currency or using a foreign stabilized currency. It's using a decentralized currency, a currency that is not tied to any government or centralized agency, and thereby this giving the most equal free ground to everyone. And so you're going to see some people who are upset with this, primarily banks, financial institutions, perhaps even the rich. I don't really know. But this is actually going to level the playing ground for most people. And so the president of El Salvador sees this. And now if somebody wants to use Bitcoin or Dogecoin, they can. If you don't want to use Bitcoin or Dogecoin, use the US dollar. But this is another option for them that will be decentralized and separated from the printing off of a foreign currency.
Probably the only downside, like I told you before, was if you're going to get some people mad. But, you know, we're going to try to calm them down. We're not doing anything bad here. We're just looking for the best interest of the people. And this is not like you said, this is not a more, we could do something centralized, our own currency, whatever, but we're looking into something that's open, free, and most importantly, that it will work. So we're looking at that this will be a huge game changer for El Salvador. I think that's a no-brainer also. It's going to be a huge game changer, one way or the other. Everybody, I mean, you have to see it. This is going to be a game changer. It has already been a game changer, and the law hasn't gone into effect yet. So imagine when it goes into effect. This is going to be huge. Huge for us and a huge example to humanity.
And we already know that they're implementing the Bitcoin ATMs now in El Salvador. There is a company, I forgot the name of the company, but they're specifically working now to implement those ATMs. About 70% of the El Salvadorian people do not have bank accounts. And many people in many Central American, South American, African countries don't have bank accounts or credit cards. And so, again, this becomes a game changer for these countries. And most likely, these third world countries are going to accept this first. And when they do, it's going to put pressure on other countries. We know that there is some regulation coming down the line in the United States for crypto assets, but I looked at some of the regulation that is being passed through Congress, and it's primarily focused on trying to get rid of some of the illegal activities of crypto assets. So that's not a bad thing. We don't want too much regulation, of course, but any regulation that legitimizes the crypto asset market more is actually a good thing. We don't want them to shut it down completely, but if they see it as something that's going to exist, but something that they want to make sure is being done correctly, that's fine with me. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the rumor mills. So you're going to start seeing some people talking about what might happen in the upcoming days because there's some stuff going on with Bitcoin as far as pricing is concerned. That's going to happen tomorrow. And then we're coming into the weekend, and then next week, end of June, and then July. So here's the rumor mills, right? And I don't know how much this is going to affect the prices at all. There might not be much, but it's possible. So just be ready for it. Bitcoin is going to be facing some contract ending tomorrow. I'm not going to get into the technicalities of it, but it deals with different pricing of Bitcoin, certain levels, and this could show that there's going to be a discrepancy in pricing. It could be a drop off quickly, but probably going to raise back up, possibly with a weekend and less volume in the weekends. Usually there's less money flow in the weekends. In addition with that, you could see it drop down over the weekend, maybe 32, 31,000. It's possible. You may want to make some decisions based off of that. You may not want to. I am not a buyer and a seller. I am not a day trader. I am not a shorter. I do not do that stuff, but I know that there's some individuals who might want to make some predictions and what they think is going to happen. In my perspective, if anyone was going to make some moves on it, they would be making those moves today, because why would they wait till tomorrow when this is going to happen to make the moves? But, maybe they will. I have no idea. So a lot of people are seeing possible drop tomorrow, possible drop over the weekend, and possible drop next week, end of June. That's the speculative stuff for this week. As far as what it might affect Dogecoin, maybe it'll affect Dogecoin by a few cents. Maybe we might see Doge dip down to 20 cents, possibly 19, and come back up. I think Doge has consolidated unbelievably strong, though. So I don't think we're seeing us go back to the 16 cent or 15 cent range. We have so many more legitimate, sold out, long-term investors in Doge. The consolidation has strengthened us so much. But maybe a pull back to 20, maybe because people are going to speculate. They're going to try to play the market. If you want to try to do that, that's up to you. I won't be. I'm just going to be holding. As you see it spike up and down, I know there's times, if I just sold there and then I bought here. And that's easy to say after it's done. But while it's happening, try to do it while it's happening. Like, should I say, it's not as easy. Either you're a holder, you're a long-term investor, you buy when it's down and you just hold, or you're a day trader or a shorter. But the two don't mix. You're going to eventually get burned if you try to do the buy sell thing. Now, after we get through next week, we're going to get into July. The speculation for July right now is a massive, massive month in July, even though it's the summer. And sometimes there's not great volume during the summer times. There's going to be people who are going to be looking forward to what's going to be happening in September, October, and November, and the future of cryptocurrencies. And there might start to become some early and massive pumps in July. Okay. All speculation, but this, it wouldn't surprise me if in July we see Dogecoin move right back up into some pretty substantial ranges. I don't think we're going to hit $1 in July or anything like that, but we might in July start to see Dogecoin push back up into 30, 35, maybe even 40, maybe even approaching 50 cents, okay? So we might see a possible close to doubling of Dogecoin in July. Again, speculative, but these are the rumor mills. I want to share this with you so you could be prepared what the rumors are out there. So that can dictate what you might possibly do. But for many of you, I know you're like me, and it doesn't mean anything. You're holding on regardless. But maybe you have an extra $50 and you're like, okay, if it goes down this week, I'll put an extra $50 in this week because maybe there's some, selling off and then buying back in. July should be good. You make that determination for whatever it is that you want to do. Of course, with all the upgrades coming, with countries accepting this, with general okay regulations coming down the line, and the fact that there's been so much consolidating, the upside right now to crypto assets is quite significant. Okay. So, and Dogecoin is a good place to be. The developers are doing an awesome job. Like I said, they're keeping up with Bitcoin at this point, and Dogecoin is making connections and bridging between themselves and Ethereum. They are also making some connections with Bitcoin as well on this future upgrade 1.21. They're working on converting Bitcoin Core 0.21 into Dogecoin Core 1.21. And so this is going to deal with the number of nodes or communicating computers on the blockchain. So connections with both Ethereum and Bitcoin. So finally, let's just go ahead and take a look at the chart very quickly here. As of the recording of this video, it is 11:10 a.m. on Thursday, June 24th, and you can see Dogecoin is sitting very nicely. This is, of course, according to Robinhood. Now, Robinhood starts its day at 12 in the morning. So if you go to Coinbase does it by 24-hour intervals. So sometimes when you're watching different videos, some people will say, oh, Dogecoin, according to Coinbase, I'm sure Dogecoin is only up probably like 1.5% right now. But according to Robinhood, it's up 5.96%. It's just depending on whether you're looking at the 24-hour period or a system that's starting it at the beginning of the day. So I kind of like it at the beginning of the day. That's just me. If you like it the other way, that's fine as well. But Dogecoin for today is up 5.85%, 24 cents and change. This is very nice. This is one of the highest we've seen in a while. You can see the chart's been going up quite nicely. If I go out to the month, right, a lot of people who are chart analyzers, the way they're going to do this is they're going to take a look at this line here that started on June 14th and ends right around here on June 20th. And they're going to draw that line out, right? And they're going to say, we need to break above that line. In order to break above that line, we need to get Dogecoin to probably around 26, 27 cents before we break above that line. They're going to tell you things like there's a wall at 25 cents, something like that. Now, that's all they're doing is taking a look at these lines and then drawing a bar. Maybe that's true. It's always nice psychologically to break above those lines, okay? So that's the next line we want to break above. We want to get to 26, 27 cents to break above that line. If I go to the 3-month marker, it's still about the same. Yeah, 25, 26 cents. So if we break above that line right here, if you're looking at the 3-month chart, we'd actually be above every single one of these bars here that we've been, this bar, this one. If we got to 26, 27 cents, we'd be above all those bars, which would actually be really cool. So it'd be breaking, what they would consider, a really pretty strong wall that we've been facing. So, and let's just take a look quickly at Ethereum and Bitcoin. Ethereum is up 4.18% today, trending right on par with Dogecoin, and Bitcoin for today is up 5.51%, trending very on par with Dogecoin as well. I like the fact that Dogecoin is fitting right in trend with these other ones, and that is attributed to the maturing process that has taken place over the last week. Like I've told you before, Dogecoin grew up this week. We grew up. We're always going to remember what happened during the last week as a growing up time. And so what Dogecoin has established now is its very serious base of supporters, which we did not previously have. I don't think we have entirely the seriousness of the base of supporters that Bitcoin and Ethereum has, but I think we made some very good gains this last week. There's still some more shedding that needs to occur. There's still some more volatility that needs to be worked out of Dogecoin. And there's probably still some more paper hands and kicks and giggles people that need to move out of Dogecoin. Possibly, maybe that'll happen this weekend and during some more volatility. But we've built up an extremely strong base of support now and people that are long-term investors. And that's why we're trending very, very closely to the big boys. Which is a good thing. And you'll see other crypto assets right now, especially the altcoins, they're not doing this. They're not trending the same way. If you look at Shiba right now, it's not trending in the same way. A lot of people like Shiba. Here's the thing with me. Shiba in the short term might get you some money. You might be able to make some gains on it. But in the long term, I don't see it working out. And I have very simple logic for that, okay? To me, Dogecoin is setting itself up differently than Ethereum and Bitcoin, all right? Bitcoin set itself up as digital gold. The way that it's mined, the way that it was developed to be mined so easily early on and so difficultly, if that's a word, later on, and the fact that it's limited in its supply, there can be no more mined than what's available. It set itself up to be digital gold and to hold its value very well. Ethereum set itself up over the long term, the fact that it has all these smart contracts, it's gotten rid of the middleman, and Ethereum has the system built in which coins are burned with every transaction. So that completely gets rid of inflationary problems, has set itself up to be the smart contract leader and has taken that route. Dogecoin is setting itself up to be the common currency of the regular man and woman. That's what I see here. It's working. It's building bridges between Ethereum and Bitcoin. It's lighthearted. It's easy to understand. Most people get it. There's plenty of coins floating around for everyone to be able to access them at a reasonable price. I mean, you don't have to buy 0.00001 Doge. It's never going to be, Dogecoin is never going to be $34,000. Just so you guys know that. The market cap could never go that high. You would need to have hundreds of trillions of dollars invested in Dogecoin for it to get even close to that. We would all be dead, and our great 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 grandchildren will be alive when Dogecoin is $34,000. But in our lifetime, with the market cap and the acceptance of crypto assets, in our lifetime, in the next 5 to 10 years, Dogecoin could easily be $10 to $20 to $30. Definitely. I know you guys want me to say higher than that for sure, but you just got to look at it mathematically. The only way for Dogecoin to go higher than that is if they actually start burning Dogecoin, essentially sending off Dogecoin to a computer system in which it completely is eliminated. I don't see any of them burning the Dogecoin. The miners would have to come together in agreement on that, and that would essentially defeat what Dogecoin is supposed to be. So as for investment purposes, in the next year to 2 years, be prepared for Dogecoin to be between $1 to $3. In the next 3 to 5 years, between $3 and $7, and in 10 years, maybe between $10 to $20. But those are some huge gains if you get in early right now. That's just based off of market cap and adoption of Dogecoin. So right now things are looking good. I shared with you some of the speculation, some of the upgrades, the president of El Salvador. Hopefully this has been really good information for you. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, share the video. We're going to continue to try and keep you guys updated with some of the most important, relative, and helpful information that we can give you as you continue down this path in investing in what I believe is going to be adopted worldwide by most corporations and countries as a tradable legal tender to be used and protected from a centralized printing and inflationary effects. So hopefully you guys found this valuable. Thank you for coming along with me. As always, I will catch you next time.